We're back, people, and today we're going to film on Jaelan Phillips, Miami Dolphins edge defender, and I thought he had a great game versus the Chiefs. Really, the whole defense did. I'll break down the whole defensive film tomorrow. Also, probably do a solo Bradley Chubb video tomorrow because I think on both sides they played really amazing. I think Chubb kind of made like the big game-changing plays, but Phillips was like a constant disruption in the backfield, and he was playing with so much effort, as you'll see throughout this video, flying around the field. And he is really the guy that receives so much attention. If you'll see throughout the video with like how often he's getting chipped, the tight ends will line up to his side, the running backs. But when he was getting his battles, even one-on-one or, going through the chips and stuff like that, he was still getting pressure, and it was really awesome to see. I think he's hitting his final level, and this defense really could be special for the rest of the season, like be a top 10 defense, possibly even top 5 from what I saw in this game. And I think Phillips is a big part of that, along with the secondary. You can just see like the athleticism, the bend around the edge. Like he has to go wide because the tight ends are aligned to his side, and he sets us up, hitting the cross chop right here around. He does a good hand placement, get down underneath, you rip. Now you're in a good position. You have that bend in athleticism, hip fluidity to close on the quarterback, force Mahomes to get the ball out quickly and basically just throw it away. His pressure was off the charts, and teams definitely, I think, watch the Dolphins film and think like that's the guy we got to stop up front. Here's the Bradley Chubb strip sack, which I will definitely break down in the Chubb video, but look at all the attention Phillips gets on this play. Chubb works a, game at the top, good job by him and Sealer, you can watch both sides of this as well. I'll play it a couple times, but we'll start with Phillips here. The initial chip with 83, he fights into it. Look how he like leans his shoulder to, not get super affected by it. Still with no momentum, look at him lift up the offensive tackle right there. Get chipped by Pacheco. Still shows some core strength to get off of it. Close the inside. Then gets hit by the right guard. This is ridiculous, man. And then keeps fighting. And Chubb ends up getting there. And he's basically right there with Chubb like just a half second later. But he fought off 4 different guys. That's insane competitive toughness. The effort, the hustle, the motor, everything that you'll see in this video. That's what Phillips was doing on this play. This is such a high level play. His pass rushing ability is really good, but I think the motor, his athleticism is insane, the burst, the speed, but I really think like his effort might be his best trait, which is insane when you think about him as his physical, prototypical ability. It's amazing as well. Here's actually the Jaelan Phillips sack in the game. It's definitely not like an impressive sack for him, and for some reason the film literally starts this frame down here, so I can't see the exact start of the play, but he basically drops into coverage, does a decent job, and then just stop Mahomes from scrambling. I like the reroute right here, getting physical. Phillips and Chubb actually dropped into coverage a decent amount of this game. They both got like a penalty called on them for holding, but they were pretty weak calls, and I actually feel pretty good from what I saw. It wasn't that bad. It was definitely better than I expected, getting physical. And then Phillips out in space like this, he reroutes and then finds, this guy working underneath, keeps good leverage on this route. Then he sees Mahomes start to escape the pocket, and he basically just spies him, stays with it, and he ends up getting a sack because Mahomes runs for no gain, and they give Phillips that sack for being like the last guy to touch him. So it's not the most impressive sack in the world, but I do like what he looked like in coverage in this game, and just his hustle, as you'll see throughout other plays in the video. He's flying around the field. Look at the attention Phillips receives on this play. They're actually, giving some attention to both Phillips and Chubb throughout the game. So it wasn't just like Phillips getting attention. Definitely Chubb to their side. You can see just based on their pre-snap formation with McKinnon to this side to chip Phillips. They also have a tight end over here, plus this guy with Kelsey, so he can't go too wide around the edge. But really focusing on Phillips here, he gets chipped to the inside, uses that momentum to get back, showing some core strength, using that hand while he's like knocked off balance to still fight to the inside. Get through the guard and the tackle while getting, kind of held up there. Just love the effort that he plays with. Even when things don't go exactly right, his motor is always running hot, and he's constantly creating pressures on these plays. And, I think Mahomes is feeling it and like, I'm going to let it rip deep because the pressure's about to come to me. And every time they did that, it was incomplete. Great coverage on the back end by everyone throughout the game. I thought X played at a super high level. If the coverage can play like that, give the pass rush some time, this defense is going to be dangerous. Here's another example of Phillips dropping into coverage. Chubb also drops into coverage. I think he gets called for the holding down there at the bottom. But I do like this work from Phillips. They look way more comfortable because I remember seeing them drop a little bit last year, and it definitely was not their style. But usually when you're dropping now in this Fangio scheme, you're just like a bonus hook defender usually, or a flat defender guy. Here, Phillips is just a hook guy, and he's just rerouting one. Rerouting number 2. Get hands on Kelsey, disrupt the route timing, and now that he sees number 1 working across the middle, that's getting passed off to Baker. He knows nothing is working onto the flat, that he has to, match like the running back. He sees it in the backfield. He's just keying the QB's eyes. He starts to float with and stay with the Kelsey play. A lot of times, people, especially DNs who are not like great zone awareness, will just sit in that spot that they were initially. But he actually stays with Kelsey. He stays with the flow of what Mahomes is looking at too. That's really good work and underneath as a bonus hook guy from Jaelan Phillips. Jaelan Phillips has done a pretty solid job in run defense since he's returned from his injury, whether he's setting the edge or, knifing to the inside. He does it a lot where like he plays with his instincts and will knife to the inside gap when he gets the opportunity. But it's also nice to just see him play with some physicality, set the edge here, constrict this run lane. Like he gets complete control of his gap, his responsibility. Good leverage, good job extending with those 2 hands, but then also pushing the tackle into this guard as well. So it's kind of forcing Pacheco to shoot up in here, and then everyone can just fill and meet there at the point of attack. And that basically all starts with Phillip being able to set this edge and be that nice force defender player. You really want that out of your defensive ends, edge, outside linebacker types. And I think Phillips has done a pretty good job at that this season, even though he's definitely more known for his pass rushing ability. Phillips out in coverage again. Like, look, and this time he's a lot wider out. He's getting physical on the number 2. I think he might be the one, because they get called for a penalty there, and it's a late thrown flag. But I remember them saying Phillips 15 at this point. Not sure why he's getting called for this. Like, it's not like, it's like right at 5 yards, and he tosses him by, and it's not holding or anything. And then he sees now King Mahomes. He wants to stay in his zone here. Now once he sees Patrick escape, look at that closing burst at speed to get to Mahomes out on the edge. Still not exactly sure what they were calling the flag on exactly, but it's just really good work out in space from Phillips, a guy who's usually an edge rusher. Should not be moving like that. A guy of his size, he's such a ridiculous athlete, and I think he is really, really special and going to be one of the best players on this team and most impactful players as well. Here we got Phillips at the top right here. Everyone been doing a good job. He drops into coverage again, but really just want to focus on his hustle, effort. This is insane. Opposite side of the field, stopping these Mahomes runs, these scrambles. They were, the Chiefs offense wasn't doing too well in this game. Dolphins defense played phenomenal. The first drive, not good. They got picked apart, but that was like the scripted first drive. After that, they only gave up one more touchdown to, this very, like the best quarterback in the league. They held Kelsey in check. Phillips does a decent job dropping here as like the bonus hook guy again. Reading number 2, he's helping, take away that like quick inside decision to Kelsey if it's there. And then once he sees Mahomes escape, look at this speed and this hustle to get there. That's only like a 5-6 yard gain. And from where he was is actually so impressive. He is one of the best athletes on that field. And I think he can be one of the best players in the league. Look at that closing speed. Ridiculous. Another example here from Phillips of just great hustle. This is a 3rd and 9 situation. He's got the running back to his side, but he doesn't get chipped this time. And look at this hustle to help like slow down Mahomes. It ends up being a holding call on I forget who was getting held in this play, but it's one of the D tackles. It might be Sealer. Yeah, it's Sealer getting held right there. But we can watch the initial rush from Phillips, using some speed to power. He gets a little bit stonewalled going around like he wants to run around the edge. But you can tell like they're playing it pretty safe. They don't want Mahomes to escape. But Mahomes is able to start to escape to this side. And then Sealer's in a good spot to stop it, but he gets held. And then look at where Phillips is right here. The ability to like catch Mahomes and like help trip him up going into the other guys. Like he doesn't make the tackle here, but this is insane hustle, effort, like absolutely, and like that closing burst. Wow. Phillips is moving. Last play that we're going to look at here for Jaelan Phillips. Just good job versus the run, helping slow down Isaiah Pacheco. They try to block him with the tight end. This is one of the things he does. I mean, Kelsey's not going to block him, but look how he's able to. Basically, Kelsey's job is just to cut him off his face here, but Phillips closes this gap instantly, get across the helmet of Kelsey here, close down, help slow it down. Pacheco does a good job of driving his feet, but Phillips does his job here very nicely. He's been very solid versus the run, as I showed in the video I made on him last week. A couple plays here, but really in this game, it was just creating disruption, havoc in the backfield while getting so much attention. And then also just flying around the field with high effort, chasing Mahomes wherever he went. And then having some pretty solid plays in coverage. Really like what I saw from Jaelan Phillips this week. Really like what I saw from the whole defense. Probably what I'll focus on mostly going into this week will be the defense for positive plays. I did, the whole offense. I'll probably get a couple players in there as well. And then during the bye week, I'll probably focus on like some mid-season stuff. Really look at some big picture things and see where things will go in the future. So if you guys love the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. So next time. Peace.